she is an artist, a mom, and now she can add the title cover girl to her resume. Cristina Martinez is gracing the cover of Parents-Latina magazine, and she's shaking up the art world by doing what she does best, telling stories of Black and brown women.
My art is inspired by this urgency that I've always had to tell Black and brown stories. It's something that I've been surrounded by my whole life, things that I've experienced myself, and just knowing that we have to work a little bit harder to be heard and to be seen in my experience. And it's come really naturally to me just because it is what inspires me the most to reflect that in all of my artwork. So my art is the stories of my grandma, my mom, my aunts, my cousins, just people that I've seen persevere and work really, really hard to be seen. Growing up in Tacoma, I always tell people I had a 15-year-old mom. My mom had me very, very young. My childhood experience was really special, and my mom's only child. You know, we really, really connected, and I feel like I paint those connections, those female connections in my art a lot. We spent a lot of time outdoors here in the Pacific Northwest, just being surrounded by so much beauty, and that's in my art. Flowers, water, all of those elements, they just like live subconsciously in my mind and then make their way into my paintings. So my Mexican heritage, I would say most of that comes from my grandma. She's made it a point to really keep the Mexican culture alive in our family, and she sends me books and articles and just all kinds of stuff. My first experience with Mexican art was through my grandmother. I've kind of taken that on and learned to just appreciate that side of me. I am Black and Mexican, but I was raised by the Mexican side of my family. Learning my own identity and figuring out who I was, I learned to really, really appreciate my Mexican roots, and I like to amplify that through my artwork. When I found out I would be on the cover, the first thing I was most excited about was, one, to tell my grandma and to tell the kids, just because it's so nice to be recognized for my work. But I always tell people I'm equally as passionate about being a great mom, and trying to balance my art and being a great mom gets really, really difficult sometimes, especially when I'm traveling. Being able to do those things at the same time is just always like, that's a dream opportunity for me. And so I couldn't wait to tell them, and I knew they wouldn't fully understand until we shot it. The whole experience was just really, really special. Shooting the cover with my kids was incredible. My daughter didn't shock me at all. I was like, she was the star of the show, and she enjoys having her hair done and getting dressed up and taking photos. My son is usually like more laid back, so to see him really open up and be excited about taking pictures was cool. But I think above all, for them to see my journey and be able to see it manifest itself in a way like that, where here they are on the cover too, was really something I won't forget. Just keep creating, no matter what. Even when your art becomes your source of income, just don't let it change you. Stay true and create, because you have to create, because it's in you. You know, I think a lot of times we fall into these places of like having artist block or not being inspired. And I've made it a point to like stop saying that out loud, because I think the only way through that is to keep creating.
And you could pick up the new issue of Parents-Latina magazine with Cristina and her kids on the cover. It's on newsstands now. Parents-Latina magazine is owned by the same company that owns this station, the Meredith Corporation.